everyone, and welcome to Middle-earth. In honor of the second season of Rings of Power coming out, I wanted to have a bit of fun and try to build Minas Tirith, the White City of Gondor, here in Cities Skylines 2. Not because I liked the first season, but because it reminds me of how much I liked the Peter Jackson trilogy and how much those movies defined my childhood. In fact, we're actually looking at a custom map I built for this build based on Canterbury, New Zealand, where they filmed Minas Tirith. I finally got my hands on the map editor, imported a height map of the exact location of the city, and just started playing around with it. Obviously, map making is not my strong suit, kind of bare bones, but I will try to upload a version of this to PDX Mods when I get a chance. So yeah, this was a fun one. Thought I'd take a break from Dewey Del Mar and try something new, something detailed and somewhat recognizable, but still functional. So without much further ado, let's begin. We are looking at the mountain face where Minas Tirith stands in Return of the King. But, you know, I'm saying this is a pretty vertical cliff face right here. And I'm thinking when Isildur and friends came after the fall of Numenor, if that's the timeline, I'm not sure, they probably didn't see like a vertical cliff face like this. They saw something more gradual, slope down into the ground level. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to terraform kind of a birthday cake like the tiered city itself, but then blend it into the mountain. And then we'll like carve flat levels into the mountain itself to, form these tiers. So I'm gonna first flatten the area around the ground or the base of it. And now let's think about our birthday cake tiered system. So I'm looking at reports of both either like a kilometer in diameter or a mile. I'm gonna do a little bit smaller because the dimensions don't really work with what I've been trying to play with, but I keep seeing that it's around 700 feet tall. So that's around 220, 215 meters for our European friends. And apparently for the game, I'm now in Celsius, okay? But yeah, we're gonna start by getting our elevation, which is 724 here. And I'm looking at another picture of Minas Tirith, and it looks like the first 4 tiers really make up the bulk of the height. So we're gonna do like, I don't know, maybe 50 meters per tier, and then just build our way up there. So let's give that a shot. All right, now let's create more room in each of the tiers, I think. So we'll grab that elevation, bring us down to around 50, and yeah, dig into the tiers a little bit more. Okay, happy birthday, we got our first 4 tiers. I'm gonna quickly clear the trees, but then I'm gonna make the final 3 tiers a little bit shorter, and then we will work on that rock outcropping that juts out to about the 2nd tier. And, you know, they're not perfect circles, but that is a-okay. If this thing was built in the first age or whatever, they probably did not have perfect instruments, so yeah. Old and messy is the name of the game. Let's do about 30 meters for these final tiers. So we'll bring this up to 955-ish. 985. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that is actually the final tier. Should be right there, because our first tier we're going to be on the ground level. All right, let me just clean this up really quickly. That looks horrible. And obviously this will all kind of blend in the mountain in the back, so I'm not too worried about behind this level. Let's do this rock outcropping now, starting from the 7th tier height. So let's go to level terrain tool. We'll start at 50, and then yeah, it goes out to about the 2nd tier here. This is where the courtyard will be, where Aragorn gets crowned as king. And then, yeah, the entire crowd comes out to about there. That looks horrible. We're gonna clean that up. That needs to be a lot skinnier. Okay, you know, I could fudge this for hours, I feel like, with these terrain tools, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully when we add the roads and everything and make these key walls, it'll look a little better, but I think this is a good start at least. Last major terraforming I want to do is blend everything into the side of the mountain now. So let's go to our terrain tools. Let's start by, yeah, we'll just bring everything into their respective levels, and then we'll soften the terrain around it. So it looks like the palace is kind of on the top tier, and then there's a sharp drop to, let's do, yeah, to 922. So let's bring everything out to here. And then, yeah, let's expand this circle where the courtyard will be just a smidge. Can fix that tier afterwards, but then, yeah, just kind of a straight shot back a little bit. And let's clean up these tiers below it. So I got our softened terrain tool. I'm bringing it down to, let's do 45%. Bring this up a little bit, and I got the mountain brush 3, so we're just gonna dab this together. Okay, looking a little better. I'm gonna open up the dev menu, go to simulation, and let's go to weather, or no, time, because I want to get the sun kind of shining more on the rock, so just it's easier to see, you know? So let's go to time of day. Let's bring this. Ah, okay, that's easier. Cool, let's keep it right there. And yes, let me do a little bit more blending, and then kind of make it a little more jagged, I think. Okay, that's looking a little cooler, I think. You know what's great? When you realize that you oriented this outcropping to point the wrong direction. So I had it pointing way over here, and Mordor should be over there. So I basically kind of redid the entire top tier. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but I think I was missing a tier. So now we should have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we are good. Now I want to start thinking about this top tier, because there is a palace and a church up there, and this would have been a great time to have pre-ordered it and gotten the Notre Dame asset, but alas, I do not have access to that. So we're gonna make something up. I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna use a temple asset for like the main church. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the spire yet. We might have to splice some assets together. But then we'll do the courtyard, you know, where Aragorn is crowned as king. And then we'll use pedestrian paths to kind of frame our rock outcropping there. So let's give that a shot first by laying down some pedestrian paths. I'm gonna go here, turn off all my snappings because these terrain lines are not gonna make snapping easy. So let's go, yeah, right out to there. And we'll do a simple curve. We'll go out like this. And then I am going to use the Move It mod to move this all the way out to the point, just like that. Kind of looks like a bird's beak. Cool. And if you look at some artist renditions, they have, whoops, yikes. They have rock kind of on the bottom part of it, and then the top part is a little bit key walled. So we can try to create that effect. I'm not sure how well that's going to cooperate since these terrain lines are so sheer, but we'll give it a shot. For now, we'll just put those placeholders there. Okay, that's pretty lined up, I think. Okay, for the actual circle, we do want to place like a temple over here, so we're gonna have to use actual roads. We're gonna stick with the pedestrian path though. Let's line this up, see if we can't get that nice and straight. And that is, oh yeah, that's actually pretty good looking. So we'll just bring it out here for a guideline for now. And then let's use our continuous road curve thing. Yeah, the continuous curve to create a semicircle on both sides here. Okay, that's looking pretty cool. Now in the center, we do have our cross of pedestrian paths, so we can just do regular pedestrian paths for that. Let's bring this out here. We'll do straight this time. And now we want to place a little circle in the center, because this is theoretically where the white tree of Gondor would be. Let's make this... I don't know if we can use recolor on props, though. That's going to be the big question. Yeah, we might just have to wait till winter time for snow to fall. All right, that's looking pretty cool. I will de-key Wallify that in a second and make that connection a little better. But cool, okay. Now we gotta think about the temple asset, and I'm gonna use just that, the temple, at least for the... Ooh, could we use this for the spire? I didn't even think about that. Again, I don't think we can color these. I'm getting ahead of myself, but this might be an option for the spire somehow. I don't know, we'll think about it. For now, let's go get a temple asset. Line that up there. And now we can use recolor to make all of these white. That's pretty cool. In fact, I might keep the garden there. Although, you know what? I'm gonna get rid of these surfaces and we're gonna do like white tile to really stick with the theme. But I'll keep all the plants in that cool fountain there. For the church bell tower, I think I am gonna try out this suspension bridge pillar. Although, what is this? Oh, that's way too big. Ooh, even this is a little tall, I think. Although I think these are all just gonna be taller. But, you know what, this is supposed to be majestic. And you know, looking at a picture of Minas Tirith, that thing does shoot up pretty far. So let's turn on Anarchy and we'll make like a square of these. Okay, that doesn't look half bad actually, I think. They might not be perfectly aligned, but you can barely tell. So. Okay, I'm trying to think of what could be good as the spire. And actually this rain is pretty fitting, you know, it's like Helm's Deep battle or something. But let's again look at our assets. And oh man, this would have been perfect if I could make it white somehow. Actually, I might put this behind the palace, even if it's not white. Just, I don't know, because it looks cool. For the church bell tower, I was just playing around for a second, and I think I know what we can do. We're gonna get a barn, a very simple barn, place it in the center here, try to line this up. Center enough, I think. We're now gonna use recolor, use our basic all white, and then here's the magic. We can use this tool, which I think is from Extra Landscaping, and then we can bring it up and, oh, I was really hoping that would be white. Okay, well, it's not the end of the world. If we bring it back a little bit, maybe we can get this effect where you have the white arches on the front of it. So let's go back to this tool. We want rotation. Let's go, oops. Let's bring this down to, yeah, 0.01. Bring it back that way. Yes, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, I think that looks pretty cool. It's too bad that the inner part won't be white, but maybe we can think of a remedy for that as we go along. Okay, I've been playing around a little bit. This thing kept resetting with the height, but I realized you can actually lock the elevation here if you're playing around with the heights of props and stuff. So hopefully that barn will stay in place. So now we gotta think about what I want to put behind the church. I did remove the bridge pillar behind it. It was just looking a little out of place, I think, with its color, since I couldn't change it to be white. But we can just place a bunch of white buildings behind it, I think. Now to do that, we will need roads. So let's go pedestrian path, and we can place these just underneath. So we'll go, let's start here. We'll make this like a courtyard going all the way back. I think a good start is, yeah, this Epicurean Gardens. We can plop it behind it. Let's see if it'll complain about road access, though, or pedestrian access. And yep, no pedestrian access. Okay, so I can't place it there, unfortunately. But, you know, maybe I can just put a bunch of residential buildings facing Wood Street here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have the pedestrian path only go to the middle of the church. And then we'll do like a small alleyway extending from here so it doesn't look as prominent in the middle there. It doesn't take as much space, I should say. Okay. Now let's go to find it. Yeah, we'll look at these EU mixed and EU residential, I think. Looking pretty cool. And now I think at the end here, let's get maybe some corner buildings or just something to kind of close up the loop there. Yeah, we'll use this one because it's got a nice nice garden in the back. So let's create a node. And it's already white, so that's perfect. Okay, I've been thinking about how to fill in this gap here since this is supposed to be like a hallway in there. And I think we can use another signature building called the Kane Residence. Where is that? Right, Kane? Yeah, this guy. And we can put it back here. Fill this in so it's like a nice, cool entryway. And I like how this arch goes over the roof of the church there, the temple. And even better, we can apply our white color palette to it, or white-ish. Let's get rid of that ad though. Chachi threads, get out of here. And maybe get rid of these modern day props. Cool, okay. And no, Chachi threads, go away. And then I'm just gonna move these residences out a little bit to get their windows facing, or visible again. Cool, I think that's looking a little more palace-like, palladial, if that's the word. Somehow the rain started again as well, so let's go back to this. Override precipitation, go away. There we go. Okay. If you take a look at a picture of the Citadel, you also have some, I don't know, service buildings or something coming out to the side here that look pretty plain, so I think those are a good candidate for just a simple barn, and we will make them white again. So let's have like a hallway basically coming out here. Let's actually have this end one be this fancy barn too. And now let's make sure they are all our white palette. Let me get rid of this one. Make that white. And then let's just move this guy over. Wow, those barns are very white, but yeah, it's the white hall. So I think, yeah, so far so good. I think it is now time to terraform everything, and or at least on the top tier, get our lawn going, see if we can't do a white tree, and then fix the rock outcropping, whatever that thing's called. But let's give that a shot first by, yeah, let's try to smooth out, not necessarily smooth out, but get this terrain down. Smallest, we'll go to 20. Something like that. That might be a little too powerful, actually. Yes, okay, that is looking epic, I think. I should make these key walls as well, and then I'll fix this node issue right here. Or not a node issue, but an extra key wall for whatever reason. I'm gonna bring this fully into, let's get a 180 degree, fully into that, like that. Same over here. Nice, and then actually we can probably just remove these segments right here, and then try to rebuild them here. So far, so good. Maybe I can make these key walls appear a little bit more prominently. Let's get our surfaces down, and this will be green right here. I'll use a different base green, but before I do that, make sure there is like a little cutoff section for the courtyard. We'll go to right about there, maybe. Nothing broke. Good. Okay, I'm always afraid something like that's going to break it, but get rid of that section. And we'll get rid of these cross guards in here because our tree will go in there. But yeah, these 4 quadrants or semi-quadrants will get a grass surface. Let's go to surfaces. Grass, we'll do our basic one here. Okay, and again in the center we will have our white tree of Gondor. And then everything else over here, the courtyard itself around it is going to get like a white tile treatment, I think. Let's go to, how does tile surface 1 look again? That's pretty good. I think I want something a little brighter though. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now, this is one of the surfaces that I think goes above everything, so we got to be a little careful. Let's actually just turn off all of our snapping except this one, and then I'm just going to trace around. Actually, maybe we should go on top of the pedestrian streets so it's all a single color, kind of like I did for the European village build last episode. How does that look? Oh, I gotta do that. Hell yeah. Well, this is starting to look awesome, if I do say so myself. I think we can probably either, let's get some pedestrian paths to frame this courtyard here, and then we can key wallify them and make the terrain kind of jagged like it is over here. So let's go to this thingy, turn off all of our snappings. We'll start from here, and yeah, follow it here. Hopefully it doesn't break or anything. Oof. Connect just like that, and yeah, let's go to our extended road tools and key it up. And while we're at it, this should probably be a white courtyard as well. We'll keep the grass there though, that looks nice. And now for the pièce de résistance. Let's see if we can't get a white mature oak in here. Wrong tool. I always go to the wrong tool. Oak tree, single elder one. Of course we know that this one's dying when we reach it, but let's put it in the center there. And now, can I? Oh my god, I can! Oh, it didn't do anything. Oh, that's okay. Hey, that's okay. Actually, do we have like a white tree or anything? White flower? We should totally put just like a palm tree next to the white oak of Gondor. Oh, I can see some bits of white there, so maybe it's just, you know, really healthy. That's too bad. We'll just wait for winter. I think next step I want to do is frame all of our tiers with some key walls as well. And we will use, I think, alleyways, since they're a little thicker, a little easier to deal with than these thin pedestrian paths. But I don't want something as thick as a real pedestrian street. Those are too thick. And obviously, I could try to use the road builder mod to create a thinner pedestrian path, but I think I went over this last episode. Doesn't really work because you need car access anyway for things to work, but that's okay. So yeah, let's go to our roads, get an alleyway, and then turn off most of our snappings. Get the terrain lines on, and yeah, let's, wait, where does this road come from? Let's, yeah, let's just create tiered circles all around. If you're you're wondering how I'm gonna do tunnels through the rock outcropping here, my answer is I will not, because vertical tunnel entrances are really hard in this game, and I don't want to have to deal with that. In fact, I don't even know if we can deal with it the way these work. So we are going to fake tunnels, basically, by using invisible roads. But more on that later. Okay, we'll clean up the terraforming a little bit, but now we can finally do our kind of our base tier, which will be the outer wall of the city as well. And we'll make this one a little thicker. So let's go all the way around. Actually, will this just work? No, unfortunately not. Now we're going to fix up all these terrain issues that I made. Whew. Okay, so this wouldn't be a Cities Skylines build if I didn't redo the roads 8 times in a row, but I think this is what I'm going for. I don't want to make these completely barren of rock. I do want that kind of craggly look on some locations, especially back here, just like we do in this rock outcropping here. So yeah, I think that's what we will do, at least for the tier key walls for now. Next up, we need to make connecting roads from each tier so you can actually, go up the city. And then, like I mentioned, I'm gonna do fake tunnels here using invisible pathways. So let's give that a shot. I won't do a road connecting each tier like on both sides. I will alternate just to make things a little simpler. But we can use these actually, we'll use thick pedestrian streets for this one. So I'm gonna turn off all my snappings, keep continuous curve on, and then let's see, this is, I think it's 50 meters up, so we'll start maybe like around here, and then go up, sure, 30 meters, and then remaining 50 right about there. Oh, hey, that looks pretty good. Now if we make this a key wall, and I guess I could use move it to get this even closer to the existing wall here. And then we can delete this sub-element pillar, which will probably be back in 2 seconds. Okay, and then let's just make a connection with these 2 roads here. We'll see what that does. We'll do a nice 90. What would that do to the terrain? Okay, that kind of fixed the terrain. That is one steep incline. Well, if you want to get to the next tier, you better have some strong thigh muscles. Wow. You know what? I think I gotta make this come out a little bit farther. Okay, well, you still need some strong hamstrings, but I think that makes a little more sense for the human body and for the poor cows and mules hauling stuff up to the next tier. But okay, cool. I'm gonna now repeat this pattern, alternating on each side of the city. Boom. Okay, cool. So we do have all of the tiers connected at least once we do these invisible paths. So let's give that a shot. Okay, for the connections, we are going to go to our landscaping tools, pathway, invisible road. I've been trying to get them like a straight connection here, like through the terrain, but it is really just like the camera's jumping everywhere. Y'all are gonna get sick watching this. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this connection here, edge through there so it's flatter, and then just like that. And then maybe we can just hide that somehow with some pillars or whatnot, but go up like that, around, and make that connection all the way up. Okay. Now I think technically everything is connected in the city. So you can get from our entrance here and then just zigzag your way up. This terrain is bothering me a little bit. See how it's dipping in there? Let me bring this out just a smidge. Okay, I think our road connections are good. You know, I say that, and I just don't like how close this is to our outcropping right here. So I did fix up this by using a pedestrian street instead of the pathway up here, since the street is thicker, so it gives us a little more wiggle room with the terrain. And now I think this is kind of thick enough to bring this street into this crossing right here. And yeah, I think that looks fine. Yeah, I think this just looks a little cleaner, and this connection looks a little more logical. With all of our connections made in the top tier kind of laid out for the most part, we can add props and stuff later. And I know that actually we got to move this to the side to make way for a little pond there, but I think let's silence all these utility complaints and finally get some water, sewage, and power to the region. So I did do the unlimited budget option for this build just because I wanted to have fun with it. But when I made the map, I had a single outside connection there, though I don't think I did water or sewage for outside connection. Can I just make this? Yeah, okay, so hopefully I can just import those then. Let's bring this all the way to the city, which is over here. Now for power, this would be a little weird. I don't want this to look like we need actual power. So I'm gonna try to keep stuff underground, but let's just get a couple of wind turbines maybe. Hidden in the mountains. Okay, I think all the tiers should be connected now for water, sewage, and electricity. Now for the next fun part, we get to lay out our road network. So the bottom tier kind of looks like a European town. We're just kind of all over the place. But each subsequent tier above it, we just have like a single alley going down the center, and then we'll have buildings on either side of it. So let's just start with this one. We're gonna use alleys since they are nice and thin. And we'll just kind of make this one a little crazy looking. We'll leave a nice big space for the central gate. Yep, that looks like a very chaotic lower tier. So I think now let's start. We'll zone. We'll do, actually no, I'm gonna hand plop stuff just because I don't want modern looking buildings coming in. So we're gonna do mostly high level European stuff, kind of like with our European village, but let's go to the buildings tab. We'll start with residential. For this lower tier, let's do like 1s and 2s, and let's get some medium European. Yeah, here we go. And everything, of course, will be white colored. Okay, let's actually get some utility buildings in here. So we need fire, of course. We'll do a old firehouse like this. I feel like probably want this close to the entrance, honestly, but this is kind of a bigger one. So let's stick this back here. The police maybe we should have by the entrance just to help fight when the orcs arrive. That's a little too modern looking. What else? Recycling, I don't want to think about that yet. Healthcare, let's do a small medical clinic on the outskirts here. This, again, looks a little too modern for my tastes, but kinda have to need it for, kinda gotta have to, there we go. Kinda need it for a functioning city, I guess. Actually, I don't know if I even like the police thing there either, but where else are they going to keep all their swords and bows and stuff? Okay, where to put this? I might undo one of these as well. Just like that. We'll replop another thing here. Cool, it's looking like a crazy chaotic, I guess, Middle-earthian town down there now. Let's continue with maybe a couple of parks. We'll do some small ones in here. Unfortunately, we don't have any old-time looking offices, so these are going to have to be the small ones just so we don't really see them that well, and hopefully they remain slightly hidden in the backdrop here. All right, next thing we gotta think about is education, and these assets. Ooh, I might have not left us enough room for these. Can I actually just splice them into the key wall like that? Let's see. It'll let me do that, so yeah. I mean, a lot of the buildings in Minas Tirith go into the rock itself, so it's not super unrealistic. For a high school, however, oof, this might be tough. 'Cause this, even the small one, is kind of big. Where are you? Small high school. Urban high school, is that? Ooh, okay, that might fit at least a long ways. And again, maybe we can like just put them into the rock somewhere. Okay, not horrible. Let's see if I can't move it slightly. Whew, okay. That works. Now, okay, so I think that's good enough for all the bottom tier like buildings itself. Maybe we can add some trees, some parks. Definitely want to get the white color on all of our buildings, but then we'll do our central gate later in the episode, I think. But maybe we can get another park in there. But yeah, let's apply our white theme to all of the buildings here. Oh, okay, that was a lot. Oh, I even missed some. But there's one signature building I placed down that we can't change the color of, but I'm okay with that. I'm thinking let's quickly frame our courtyard, where like the barracks are and everything. Ooh, don't go up. And then, yeah, we can maybe start putting down like tiled surfaces, cobblestones. Actually, yeah, let's do cobblestone. We have this ground surface, or nope, where is it? Here it is. Cobblestone base. This is the benefit of this one is that it goes under pre-existing roads and stuff, so we don't have to worry about going around absolutely every road and asset, which I would like to avoid right now. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Yes, it's a nice contrast to all the white as well, I think, so. We'll do like a brighter thing for the courtyard here, but I think for the rest of it, yeah, let's just stick with this cobblestone base. It's nice old-timey feel from the first age. Pretty cool. All right, while these people are still complaining, let's get a road connection here. So when I made the map, I did get a highway, and let's make this semi-nice looking and snake it along the river here. So let's go to highways, 2-lane, no 4-lane. And then yeah, just connect everything and let's go. Maybe that'll be like the center of Pelennor Fields eventually. That'll be pretty cool. But all right, hopefully we get people actually coming in now. It'll take a second, but then we'll stop complaining about lack of labor and our population will not be 0. While people are moving in, I'm gonna go through each of our tiers now. And like I said, I'm gonna do just an alleyway down the middle and buildings on either side facing inward. Or I guess up here they'll have a nice view of, you know, the Eye of Sauron and everything. But yeah, I'm just gonna kind of repeat the theme here. It'll be a little more orderly, I think, since we don't have as much room to play with. But yeah, I'll stop at this tier here because maybe we'll do like a couple of gardens or something more regal. But yeah, sit back, hang tight, let's do this. let us briefly reconnect just to go over what I've been doing. So a couple of props I really like to use are the barns because A, they don't distort the terrain, and B, they don't need a road. And then you can make them all white, or, you know, I think I might go with these this gray palette a little more, since the white barn is kind of overdoing it. But yeah, it's just great filler. Same for the stone gazebos and trees I've been placing throughout all the tiers. But yeah, I think the cobblestone is coming along well, and everything is working, like, functionally at least. You know, roads are going through our tunnels, which we have yet to build. And yeah, I mean, people are happy, so I'm surprised, even though we have 0 residential demand and we need industry, but there's not a lot of room for it unless we build it out here. I took another look at a picture and realized there's actually a pond in the center here, and the tree's a little offset, and man, I really wish I could make that white, but alas. I also left this top tier barren because, yeah, another picture, it looks pretty sparse. More just kind of like walkways and pathways. So I'll think of what we can do up here, but I don't think I'll do much zoning in terms of actual buildings. And then the latest thing I've done are add these barns as, I don't know what the term is, not parapets, but, you know, like the watchtowers on the wall itself that kind of space out and have trebuchets or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And I think I might even go around and add some fire watchtowers later, but I'm going to repeat this pattern all the way up to at least this tier right here, I think. I'm an orc, I'm angry, dun 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 dun. Let's go burn Helm's Deep, dun 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 dun. Too bad I'm so ugly, dun 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 dun. Because we're all so jacked, dun 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 dun. Okay, so far so good. Plenty of population, losing a boatload of money, but that's okay. We got an infinite budget. And yeah, I'm liking the effect that gives. Actually, I was just playing with something, and this is gonna take a long time, but what do you care? You're doing time lapse probably. I'm doing all the work here. But I'm thinking if we get a greenhouse, these kind of look like arrow slit windows when you flip them around and give them white color. So watch this. We're gonna put that there, give it our default palette color, and then we're gonna bring this up. Yeah, I think that's a nice detail that I'm gonna replicate across all of our watchtowers. God help me. Oh my god, my hand is cramping up right now. It's the central station all over again. But, you know, from afar, I do like the effect that gives. It just, it's like, gives it more pop, I think. But one thing I did was make sure I locked the elevation for all these other props as well, just in case, I don't know, I accidentally moved them and they reset to their default height, which would be really fun to redo. But yeah, okay, cool. Glad this worked out. So I was thinking of doing the horizontal pillar game for the wall out here, but then I totally realized we could just totally use a pedestrian pathway that is elevated, and we'll key wallify it. So I think that would be a lot easier, and I wouldn't have to worry about positioning all those pillars like we did in the downtown episode where we built the sunken station. So that saves my thumbs a bit of work. So let's start by, yeah, we'll start right here. All snappings off, continuous mode, anarchy on, and follow the outline of this pedestrian path. Oh, that automatically looks so much cooler. Nice. We will get to the main courtyard very soon. One thing I want to do, I just watched a video from Picana, I think that's how you say it, where he created the Metro Plaza Steam Workshop asset from the first game, and crazy build. Definitely recommend it. I'll link to it in the show notes. But he found something where if you go to Patio 2 and then you raise it up, It has really nice texture where the steps kind of poke out a little bit. Obviously, we'll get rid of the parasol on top. Sorry, the umbrella on top and the chairs. But I think this would be great as part of the wall as well, kind of like in between elements, just to texture things up since this is a little bare bones. So let's give that a shot, and then we'll work on our gate and maybe a few more wall elements. Okay, cool. I think that makes things a little more interesting. Let's think about our main courtyard and gate now. Now, for the actual gate, I think the obvious answer, we gotta go with the grand bridge pylon or pillar, this thing. Even though it's a different color, I think it's worth it just because it looks so majestic and worthy of Gondor. Yeah, and then we can, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why, this does not distort the terrain, so we can lower it, get rid of that color variation there. Maybe move it a little bit, line these up with the pathway, boom, just like that. Okay, we will leave the gate open since it is now peacetime in Gondor, but for the courtyard, let's do something a little brighter than the cobblestone. Let's go to tiles, and let's go to our handy dandy tile surface 3, I believe. We can put it here, and we'll just stretch it across. This is one of the ones that goes under roads and networks and stuff, if it'll connect. Come on. Oh, but it goes up the terrain. Interesting. I do not like that. Okay, let's redo that. Yeah, I think that looks a little better. Then we can go to, like I said, get some boulder props. And then how about a nice fountain to kind of square off, yeah, the large one. Why is it red? Oh, it's just a reflection, okay. Let's get that sort of in the center. You know, actually, I don't think I like this tile surface. I think it's a little too uniform, too patterned. Let's go to, I think this is the one that we used for the European build, and this is the one where I have to be a little careful to not go above surfaces, but I think it just looks a little nicer. Oh yes, should have done that from the beginning. That looks pretty cool. And then we'll use the usual techniques to get some nice flowers around this. Maybe go to circle mode. Okay, I'm looking at a picture of the courtyard, and it's pretty dense inside. So let's get some buildings inside of Glade Lane and Willow Lane. Let's go to find it, usual. We'll do European. Let's do medium density. We'll get some level 5s, I think. Ooh, I definitely want these to face inward, but there's no road there. So luckily we have this surface goes on top of roads, so we can just put another alleyway, turn off all our snapping, right here, I think. Okay, I think that is a much more majestic entrance, and plus you have a couple of shops right there. Actually, could we make this like a park area? I still don't know if that tool or that mod actually works, but might as well. We'll do a hang around area. Okay, cool. I think this is coming along nicely. Detailing is going well. I wish there were ways to like put stain and crack decals along the key walls and these props, but I've been playing around with that and no luck so far. But if you know of a way, let me know, because I would love to kind of dirty this up or get some better stonework on there somewhere. But, you know, for what we have, I'm liking where this is going. Thinking about this top tier in the actual city itself, like pictures of it, it looks pretty barren, honestly, as I've mentioned before, but I think this is where our city's wealthy and rich would live. So we're going to dedicate this solely to low density, level 5 single family housing. So let's just plop a couple of these up there. Yeah, some waterfront, really some nice view front. These are like the all the friends of the Steward of Gondor. Okay, looking good, and we can fill the place with trees. And our usual barn fillers. That's right, we do have this tool where I can just click an asset instead of having to manually select them and paste our color, so this is a little more convenient. Okay, bougie, rich, top tier complete, and while I was at it, figured I'd add these structures to the top 3 walls as well, just to give them a little more texture. It looked a little plain. I don't think it makes sense to have these watchtowers all the way up here because, I mean, you already have a good enough view, and if you're throwing rocks and hot oil from that level, chances are you're going to hit innocent people below, so probably best from a military standpoint to not do that from the top level. Plus, you think rich people would allow, you know, weapons of war in their backyard? No. The NIMBYism is crazy in these top tiers for sure. I think the last thing to do within the city itself is get our pathway up to around here in the mountain where Pippin lights the beacons. And to do that, we're going to go to pedestrian pathway, this pedestrian arch bridge. I think let's get it up to 30 meters. Is that? Yeah, that should be plenty high. Actually, let's bring it down just a little bit. I think that's pretty much level. We'll go straight out from here. Okay, and then we can maybe make connections to both of these. Get some straight edges there. And now we can use a regular one to just kind of snake up the mountainside, which is going to be one hell of a climb for Pippin. Okay, this looks like a good place for a beacon. So I'm gonna flatten this just a little bit. If you take a look at the scene, it's actually at like a tower, and the path goes into the mountainside, but I figured let's get some clearance for this beacon so everyone can see it. So let's bring this up to 100. For the actual tower that holds the fire, let's get that patio too that we built those wall ramparts with. So we're gonna bring this up, we'll do 20 meters, let's do 10. Let's have this facing outward, just like that. Right. Cool, it's nice and lined up. And then let's get rid of these sub-elements here. Excellent. I think we have stair assets as well. Stair. Yes. All right, let's have one that goes like just like into the tower, Because if we bring these up, yeah, they'll just float. So let's actually have this go in, and it's like, you know, the stairs continue inside the tower itself. But the cool thing, let's go. I think we actually have firewood. Firewood, yes, piles. That's exactly what we want. Firewood shelter. Oh man, yes. Although maybe it should be a little open concept so you can actually see the firewood. So we will place just a bunch of firewood in a row here. Okay, that looks so dumb. But all right, the pièce de résistance, what I really want to try is get a literal dumpster fire here for the flame effect. Oh, I know we have something. Something with fire. Flame, yes, barrel fire. We could even have, yes, like a campground, kind of like the thing that Pippin tips over to get the hot oil on it. And then let's get a couple so you can really see the flame. Although let's, here, I'm gonna turn off snap to the top here. Oh no, that would be annoying. Okay, we'll just reposition this maybe. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, that's so dumb, but so great. Let's get, I think, maybe a pergola to like protect it from the wind, you know? Pergola. Let's do one that, yeah, just has one side. Oh snap, the beacons are lit. Gondor is calling for aid, y'all. Oh my God, this is awesome. With the beacons lit in the Rohirrim on its way, I am gonna call it, y'all. I know I was talking about Pelennor Fields, but if you take a look at a picture, it really is just a big green open field like this, so I don't think there's much we have to do. If I heard that Sully might release ploppable sims pretty soon, so maybe we can plop down 1 million orc sims as an army, but I think until then I will save my fingers from clicking 1 million times. But yeah, this has been a total indulgence episode, I realize, but I want to thank you all for sticking with me. The trilogy, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, really was a huge part of my childhood, so it's cool to see it come alive in this game, even though I know we couldn't do everything that I wanted to do. We're kind of limited on the assets we can use, cracks, rocks, terrain deforming, but with what is available to us, I am happy where it turned out. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, please hit me up in the comments, or if you want me to continue the Middle-earth map, we could do like Rivendell and a river valley over here, Osgiliath. I could terraform away the mountains and do Mordor. There is definitely plenty we can do. So yeah, until then, hope you all have a nice day and enjoy the 2nd season of Rings of Power if you watch it. I hope I will, but yeah, until then, see you later.